lot of KO flashes through the neon wall. And so that's what I'm paying attention to here. No wall being bought, though, on this pistol round strategy. So just looking to try to send it. And poor Rooney on the other side.
Yeah, isolated, pretty alone here. It's only going to have the market players to really help him out here. And there's the reveal onto Oxy.
Good nanoswarm, though.
Yeah, that's going to put a pause into G2.
Yeah, they haven't used a huge amount of their utility, though. Still, Fragment Grenade, 2 flashes, Paranoia. You know, they just used Recon and what, like a slide, basically? So, causing C9 to panic just a little at the start there has given them that utility advantage. And G2 so happy to slow it down. In the middle of rounds, at the start of rounds, at the end of rounds, anytime, slow it down.
They are definitely one of our most slow-paced teams.
I like to refer to that as cerebral, Brett.
Cerebral, sure.
Yeah, it's like when the travel agent sells you a cozy apartment to go and stay in.
Yeah, some people would also call it quite slow in terms of the gameplay, but this is anything but it. Quite explosive straight through, and now essentially the round wrapped up. Only 2 players left standing. Leaf got main control. It's up to Moose and Rooney to try and retake this one from Heaven, but a pistol round is essentially wrapped. It's going to take a miracle. Dart nowhere near to coming back onto online. And the post-plan setup, you can expect discipline in spades from this G2 team. As soon as one player takes a contact, it's heroics from Moose, but nothing past that point.
Really,
that's a pistol round earned for G2.
Showcasing there in just the first round all of the strengths that G2 have used to become the best performing America's team of recent times, specifically with that run through Shanghai. Only lost to the 2 teams that were in the final. Happy to slow things down, make it very difficult for Cloud9 to figure out where they were going. The execute when it actually comes through is very nice with good utility, and then such discipline in post-plans to make sure they convert their advantages. It's picture perfect. It's not necessarily super flashy. You're going to get that from Oxy on the other side of things as he tries to battle through. But G2 have got a lot of good qualities.
They certainly do. That's another thing that we're going to be keeping an eye on, I think, over the course of this series is, the stylistic differences. We're in a new patch and meta. It's shifted a lot of things in different directions. Duelists are coming more into focus. Is it more individualistic? Who really knows? But could be prime for Oxy to really do some work. Not on this round necessarily, unless he gets lucky with the right click. Still has that dash active, but it's going to be fading away.
Yeah, brutal actually. Thought that was going to be the timing that G2 chose. And they're happy to go back over towards where Leaf is playing. There is an opportunity for Oxy and Valenti to go for a peek, but it's really just all classics on the other side. C9 would have to get very lucky with the read on exactly where G2 are ending. And yeah, 4 players caught in that. You're just going to be sending it to B.
G2 should want nothing to do with it. 40 seconds left.
I think these are the only moments where G2 look like they're seriously can be caught in trouble is when they allow the time to tick down and they're heading into a stack. But that's not the case here, obviously. They know from that 0 point that most of C9 were on the other side. But, sometimes the time can work against them when Valen likes to call these slow-paced pauses in the round. And that's where Vanity's going to be trying to get the edge, is figuring out, can you get the read on where Valen's trying to end before G2 are set up to go for it?
That's going to be a very standard, quite slow ending to this round as well.
Yes.
Cloud9 just going to be waiting this one out for the spike. See if some kills get hunted.
I mean, Trent's actually only 3 away from getting his ult online as well, so they're definitely going to try and fight for this.
It could press forwards and grab the 2 remaining kills. Trent's going to go for it.
Leaf steals the final one. All right, well, didn't need that Hunter's Fury online anyway. All good. And headed into a bonus, I would imagine that G2 are going to have some set strat here. Mel broke one down. Beautiful ascent round that we saw earlier. You can't do the same thing again because that involved an updraft dash onto site. But you can do something similar. There are neon walls that you could throw through the windows in B main. Neon wall exec into A is very strong as well. And you never really know where the neon's going to pop out with a KO flash. So I'm expecting that G2 will have a lot of those kind of setups ready to go. But as is always the case with Valen, he likes to do a little bit of defaulting before he picks an execute. Oh, and this is fast, actually.
Yeah, Ice is already straight up through into the connector, but he stuns himself up and flashed up. It's the underhanded just from Zeppa. Nanoswarm's going to go flying forwards just to the backside of Jenny, but it's a stalwart defense currently by Cloud9, and they are dominating every single position.
Good cleanup from C9, but the timing on that didn't quite work for G2 at all. Icy's going alone from tiles, throws the wall so he can't get punished through mid, which is where Oxy was looking to try to take the fight. But he's pinching the players over by tree way before the A main players are ready. You know, Zeppa's not under pressure there from anybody trying to get into sight. The execute is not really coming. If you're going to run a strat like that where everything feels super heavy from the neon through tree, it's got to play your players in from A main.
A little bit disjointed, but another buy round on either side. It was just a bonus for G2.
They're looking to try to punish Rooney there. Recon up top, seeing if they can counter spam. There was a lot more Odin usage towards the end of Stage 1 in Americas, the kind of playoffs and
Take flight.
the teams when they went over to Shanghai. Makes it more difficult to go and take that B main control.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be cautious from G2, as always.
And they're doing a great job with their util of pushing Oxy back. That was one of the things that they did a great job of the last time that these two teams met.
Punishing him as well.
Yeah. He still actually found a lot of value on defense. He had a over 1 rating on defense, but on the attack side, when Oxy was trying to entry, he was held in check heavily.
Oh, so he's going to be missing a dash for this one, but he can hear all of these bodies in front of him with the bunny hop in. Icy just barely going down. The trade was online, and that was the point of it. Moose is tucked, very committed into this position again. It's a little bit labored, a little bit messy. Still towards the back of the side is Rooney. Left to anchor now. Players trying to get themselves in. A supportive flash from long distance. That's Zeppa helping him out. Util good enough, but it's, again, just even exchanges almost. Trent now left in this 1v2. Plant has to commit it. Only 13 seconds left. No players pushing his position just yet. Doesn't really have any util either, and he's going to try and at least win out this fight, but it's a 1v2, and ran down and chased down by the bullets. Side by side, Cloud9, and clean that one up, bringing it 2-2.
Had to pick a side there to go to try to fight in the 1v2, really. It was either that or just cowering back sight and trying to pick them off. Tries to take a time in, hoping that Vanity and Zeppa are going to be scaling lane at that point in time, but alas, not the case. So G2 giving up 2 there. And this fake over towards tree didn't really pull too many people away. One of the things that you could find big value out of with the neon, because you can fake on one part of the map and then very quickly be on the other.
We want the round, baby. That's all that matters. Yo, what skin you want? No,
Just talking about skins going into it, yeah. I mean, that
Revealing area.
just captures the personality, I think, of Cloud9 pretty adequately.
Yeah, it really does. So C9 are doing a lot of flood defending here. That's another thing to keep an eye on. The main way that they're trying to get back into sites is not by running any set retake. Rough timing there, actually, from Oxy. I think he had that one dead to rights if he'd stayed on the angle.
Yeah.
But C9 have now gotten Operator online, Odin online. Economy still has a buffer on most of the people. Rooney and Zeppa with like 5k in the economy.
Yeah.
Things are looking great here for the defenders. G2, big hill to get back up.
Exactly. With Oxy having this operator as well, good time to highlight that. It's something that Mel mentioned, when you're opting in for the neon, experimentation on Ascent, it's a very op-heavy map. A lot of defensive protocols and setups rely on your jet getting value with that one. You can't really, I mean, you can put an op in the neon's hands, but hang on, wow, this is Moose going to be under a tremendous amount of pressure, but can he really stand up to the challenge? Yes, he can.
Spike down, B.
Weaponry not ideal. Off for G2. Still going to be jumping their way into the side, blinded up. The flashes, supportive util, not quite working out in their favor. Jonah P cleaned up. 2 players left tethered into this site position now, and Leaf's going to have to go walkabouts really and make some magic happen.
Remember, Trent pushed previously. So C9 just waiting, trying to play cautious.
And spam, paranoia is good. It's fantastic, in fact. Catches onto almost everybody. Valen is left now. 1v3. Only the 1, and there's that Odin. Putting in the work.
Just turns the wall to paper. C9, the defensive protocol over towards B when Moose is just in back sight alone.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to be the anchor there that the rest can flood defend off the back of. Did eventually end up getting overwhelmed. Maybe with rifles online, that's something that G2 can exploit. but there's constant flashes coming over the top from Zephyr. From
Sport of
Spawn.
util, man, is top notch right now.
But I think Valen's smart enough to read into the way that G2 are playing, the way that Cloud9 are playing. You know, if you run a B exec and then you try to actually push Spawn on that timing as Zephyr would be trying to flash,
yeah,
there's some ways that you can mix things up. But I think this is just going to be a big ult round. You know, it might even be the same protocol that Mel was highlighting. 0 point towards the back and see if Trent can get a kill with it.
We'll see. Plenty available to them. Just a slide from Icy. Gets himself into it. Okay.
Wow, that's so bold from Oxy. Walked all the way up Cat.
That had to be a ridiculous shot, I think, just as the smoke was blooming. Still, this lockdown is going to be placed down towards the feet. Got to be respected now by Cloud9. Ult, I believe, cancelled there by Valen. He was trying to get himself into the side. Zephyr not being cleared off this angle. G2 really struggling to even find themselves a foothold to even get past the initial choke point. All the spam, I think, that was just being provided from the Odins.
Good utility now, though, to push back any of those defenders. Should allow G2 access to the site.
Barely in. Struggling, waiting for the smokes to come back up. At least one of them to block it, but now they can finally move forwards. Cloud9, lockdown of their own being used. Doesn't actually cover the whole section of the site, but his post plant is dire right now from G2. Hunter's Fury out for the spawn to provide him a bit of space and time to work with. Here's a kill. Potentially a second tag, definitely softening up a lot of these players here. Now G2 will have to pave their way out of it. And how can you do it? The spam from all these angles. Again, the post plant is not ideal. Corralled, collected into the corner. Not too much more you can play for, but a shot missed and whiffed there from Icy. A follow-up just not coming through from Zephyr. It's a 2v2. Damage being done, but it just can't find these kills, these last few players, and it's left up to Rooney. Just with the Odin. Has to get out of secondary, but too slow with it, man.
Felt like C9 should have been able to get into that one. Yeah. It's a nice reactive ultimate from Trent, but when all things settled, when all of the ults were used, the C9 retake did not have to worry about B main. They knew that all of the players were forwards. They already had kind of the picks and the players shoved into spots. Look, they're in a 4v3 at this point in the round. Trade comes out and Icy on super weak health manages to pick up 2 in a very pressured position. Doing a good job. Those are the kind of spots actually where I would normally expect C9 to have an advantage. This is the A split strat. This is what Icy did last time when they went for that full A crunch. But last time Icy just ran straight in, stunned, and ended up going in a little too early. This time it's part of a fake, a default for a bit of mid control. Think about that wall. It actually lets you get really close to Oxy if he was AWPing.
Yeah. You should cover as well from any flashes or darts. There is some mid-aggression on display by Cloud9.
Oxy's actually looking for a fight through B main. He's got that Blade Storm popped. And Leaf, it's now his job to try to... Oh, they were thinking about going and taking some B main control, but
they were.
Opted not to go into it. Someone cancelled the call.
So again, it's a cautious tale here by G2. Nothing too eager at the beginning.
Yeah, and the fact that they're not taking B main control, I think, indicates this is almost certainly ending A. And that's what Rooney's thinking right now. I think it's just a fake, though.
Okay.
And look, Oxy's ready. He knows it's a fake.
And it's going to be catching the spike, potentially, with this kill. Yep, dropped out. This is the nightmare scenario. But Oxy, Sky, is known for the game sense. Well, not quite a game sense, but a mechanical ability still this time. He has single-handedly won them this, surely.
I mean, it's 50. Yeah, he must have done. There's no way that they can win this round.
They have to recover the spike, and there's absolutely no chance of it, man. Oxy, he can just play his timing. Look at this guy. Working him in the neutral. 4 on it. Can claim the ace.
And Rooney, he just wins the round by sitting back in pizza.
Yeah, enough's been done there.
Yeah, good work. The time very much going against G2. They actually got a lot of value out of the push through into A. They just didn't have the spike, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think that's a massive oversight, though, from G2. You know that you don't have B main control. Leaf was going in that direction. They didn't want to take the risk of challenging Oxy, which, fair enough, this guy's a beast. But as soon as the turret goes down over towards B main, you have to anticipate that even if he's not pushing out to get kills, he's pushing out to get info and knows that it's an A split. These are the kind of things that Valorant should be able to recognize. Here's that wall again.
Yeah, same strategy, just trying to deny this one. Judge in play from Vanity. Oxy, Operator! He nails a shot. Easy as. Not too much danger left into this round, really, for G2 to work with. And Oxy, of course, taking liberties. Slow walk up mid. You can hear the footsteps. You can hear Valorant.
Simply no need to do this in a 5v2, but you know, Oxy's going to do what Oxy's going to do. He's getting good information for the team, but I think they had a pretty good understanding that everyone was around there anyway. Vanity cleans up with 3.
That's so silly.
I don't think Vanity meant to miss the one-way in A main. Maybe he's just gigabrain there and deliberately threw the smoke on the floor so that he gets spam into. But either way, C9 pretty easily wrap up another anti-eco. And G2's economy has been a massive problem for them in this attack half. Broadly speaking, because they lost rounds 3 and 4. They gave away the bonus without really doing too much damage, and then lost very pivotal rifle rounds.
Yeah.
So plenty of these rounds that C9 have got online have been simple for them. Should indicate that this is a fast piece. Some kind of B split through market, perhaps?
Yeah, surely with the ult in his back pocket. We'll see. Cloud9 making those adjustments, though. Oxy's going to be hopping straight through. Odin to set him up and support him onto that line-aside angle. Does he anticipate this, though? Leaf is going to be tucked into that corner.
They're trying to bait Oxy into over-pushing.
They really are. Pressed, can't find it. Icy, bit of a fake in terms of the presence of what they're going for here. Trying to see if they can pull players over towards A, but the rest of them just get into the B site.
It's kind of a nice fake there, actually. It accomplishes what they wanted, but Icy and Jonah P didn't get anything on the other side. They sold it, but they would have been hoping for at least a kill.
And a swarm, they're being pushed back.
This is going to be a very difficult post plan.
Yeah, it really is. They don't have B main control. G2 going to be struggling with this one. Cloud9. Numbers advantage, health advantage. Potentially win this just by spamming. It's G2 that really need to get proactive. There's one at least for their troubles. Leaf just finds it, backs away. Dart reveals it. Surely spammable again. He covers the angle. The swing is immaculate. Rooney. How's it come down to this? Low enough. Dart just needs to be dodged and avoided. Shot darts flying forwards, but already with the time ticking, he realizes it. Job's done. It's finished. No more chances into this one. Can play for the exits, though. He knows that money is a potential problem, but
do they keep them?
The bullet tag potentially slowing them down. No, everybody gets away with a rifle, so G2, honestly, bailing themselves out of that spot. That was a tricky scenario.
What teamwork, though. A fantastic swing timing from Leaf. They couldn't break the recon dart, and Valen was dead to right, stuck behind those boxes. Leaf swings, knowing that somebody's going to get aggressive. Perfect teamwork there.
That's done.
And all of this built off the back of a really nice call from Valen to go for what looks like a very fast A-split, to bait out an aggressive play from Oxy. Oxy even gets tagged with the very end of Jonah P's null command. And they pick up the kill on the aggressive star opper from C9. Oxy now might be conditioned to take fewer risks, but we're 10 seconds in and he's pushing onto B main, so there you go.
Boosted commit as well, and Anna Swarm breaks the turret, so Oxy could take a peek if he wanted to. Turret won't catch his contact, does need to worry about a multitude of angles. You can see Leaf is just ADS'd up, trying to stay active. Locking in just in case, but pulled back the turret, so he got it at least back online nice and early. It's going to be covering that B possibility. And a setup now looking like leaning over towards A from G2. They've got the spike in that position.
Both teams so aware of all the little meta nuances between the fight over the B main angles. But as you said, it looks like it's heading over towards A here. Rooney, I wonder whether he just rips ult. He's in a fairly nice spot to try to ult the choke point.
Paranoia wall. Dart. Abundance of utility going to be used to try and take this one. Valen even with the commit till, but it's not accounted for. That was across the map. Rooney does let it rip now with a Hunter's Fury. Couple of tags. No damage though. Surely the kills. Zeppa capitalizing off the chaos. Pushing the advantage entirely. And Leafs alone. Once more in this 1v3. With no time to work with. A tap. See if he gets an easy fight. Not given. Cloud9. They know that they just have to play the slightest amount of discipline, and already the round's won. No more time for the plan. And Oxy knows it.
risks the op. Moose could have got the pickup, but he ends it in style.
Let's go.
That's another C9 flood defend that's really nicely coordinated. Their utility's perfect. The paranoia catches onto people. That's all sent off the back of this Sova ult. Recon from Rooney finds value. The ult finds value. You know, all of these G2 players are so distracted, getting caught by spam and the ult. Really well defended. I think both teams are playing a good game so far. And 4 would be considered fairly standard for the attack side.
I mean, considering how hard it's been for G2.
Yeah, it's not great when you've won pistol, of course, only getting 4, but it'll do at a pinch.
And Oxy, he will not be denied this angle. Look at this guy. There's no way you're peeking that again. Immediately with a shorty out, anticipating there could be that punish.
You should run.
Another swing, locked down. Now going to be used. Perched up as well. Up onto the wall, just in case there's some util flying forward to deny that one. Oxy, you're really getting ahead of yourself here, son. Surely the up trapped to take around the corner. And the pincer comes through eventually, but Zephyr once more there to cover. Round to the side, loads of damage done. Softened up Valin, leaving it to a 2v4 for G2. How are you going to dig yourself out of this one? Really not. Vanity making sure he holds this one. The darts! Didn't quite tag him, but...
Still distracted him.
Exactly. That's all it took. Valin. Is that going to be enough? Still no gone online in the hands of Trent, but he's actually managed to find that off. Salvaged it in the midst of it. Closes the door in their faces. Now potentially a safe plan, but no, they want to push forwards. Moose takes the fight straight to the brain.
Down A.
One bullet's all it takes. Valin, he's just looking for another one, but already revealing that spot and position. 7 rounds now for Cloud9.
And again, showing that these protocols
Last
look lovely
round
on the
before
defense
the
side.
switch.
Notice how it's somebody else that breaks the door to allow Moose through. He's not wasting his own bullets and having to reload. He's got a teammate there that does it for him, allows him to swing through very quickly. But that was a bit of an eco round for G2, and so all the focus is going to be on whether this is 8-4 or 7-5 at the half. It makes a big difference on Ascent, and I think G2 can go for more pump fakes. When you see that C9 are flood defending like this, try to bait the flood out and punish it, rather than committing fully to the site. I think that's what I'd like to see Valin call in this final round.
This time, oh man.
What a shot.
Yeah, what a shot, Oxy. Quick with the reactions to shut that one down. With Icy missing now, G2 might struggle to get the initiation factor going forward and wallbang angles. This is just a fundamental understanding of how this map is being played. Constantly punishing the twists and turns of G2, man.
And this time C9 not going for the flood. Happy just to be in the 5v3. That's a great punish off the drone.
Yeah, knowing that spot and potential positioning. Trent, any sort of damage done? Not quite, no kills, yeah. Still, Leaf is holding it down towards the main angle. He's the one who really has to do something about this. Already the nade being committed up onto lane! Zeppelins in his face, just with the rifle. Leaf with a counter spam in play. He knows he needs to do it for Trent to at least allow him to stay alive, but it's not possible. Toppled and falls already, and the round crumbles. Just like that, up to 8 now for Cloud9. So we finish this first half of Ascent. 8-4 finish, nothing to scoff at.
No, solid for both teams, to be honest. G2 would have wanted a lot more, but C9's defense looked really good. They had the Op and the Odin online the entire time, with Oxy and Rooney providing big value from both of those guns, and great protocols on when to flood, when to set retake, and how to support each other. G2, they'll be content, not happy, but content with 4. But 2 of those came off the back of the pistol, so they really need both to have any chance of winning Ascent, I think.
Right now, it's Cloud9 just feeling really empowered, I think.
In their stage 1 results. And I think
now,
this is still super even.
Yeah. Could be anyone's game, just ending on this pistol round. Dash forwards. Up and out of it, man. Just trying to weave your way past this. Icy. Final bullet will do that.
Down A.
That's 3-piece. Here's as it comes. Straight through the choke point. Everybody falls. That is just over in the blink of an eye.
And a necessary pistol round for G2 to have some good hope here, because their rifle rounds were not really working. I think we're going to see big value out of the stun on defense. I think you're already seeing that from Icy there. But it does come at the cost of not really having the best agent for the operator. And I think the number one thing that people associate with Ascent is having that Jet op online.
Yeah.
And being able to cover mid with it and apply pressure and push out B main and that kind of thing. C9 looking to go for a very similar idea, straight again.
Tagged up at a knife, though.
Only classics, no plant down, no real, you know, not a huge amount of kills, so they're not going for that buy Oxy a Guardian strat.
Keeping it safe. Yeah, we did see a lot of it. Just trying to put all your resources and potential into Oxy.
And why not? He's been a phenomenal player, and I think over the course of this year has continued to get better as well. It's not necessarily that his fragging has gotten better, but he makes fewer mistakes than he did.
Yeah, his game sense is sharpened.
I think it definitely has, with more scrim time, more match time. He's not throwing his life away as much, and he's still getting really big value in rounds. Of course, when you have a player as aggressive as Oxy, there's always going to be some overheating involved. It's just part of the play style. But you want to try to minimize it as much as possible and get the big, powerful rounds still out of him. And I think they've done a good job of that. I think Vanity is a good caller at getting the most out of a player like him.
I mean, speaking of his calling as well, this is an eco round. He's not throwing it away. Just trying to spot out the defensive util. Break a lot of it.
30 seconds left.
Jonas
over towards A, yeah, hard middle. Here's the rebound, though, with the flash. Bounding across the wall, stun, connection. Vanity does pincer them just from the side. Shot to the temple. Takes him out. 16 seconds left now. Got to get themselves into the site. There is one anchoring player. It's Valen. Tucked down towards Dice. Only a few seconds remaining here, and the Wards. Nice and precise to finish.
Seppa threw away the Phantom because he didn't want to give it to them, and they can't find it. They haven't kept the Phantom into the round. That's great from Zephyr. I don't know where he hid it. What's he done? Put it under the tree or something?
I'm not sure.
Where did
Tossed
it
it
go?
into the corner.
Where did that gun go? Nice idea there towards the end in a fairly unwinnable spot. But the stun does look quite good in that situation. Where did the Phantom go? Where's he throwing it? Oh,
just into the corner.
Just in a blind spot. That's why they couldn't find it. All right, we're back in though, and the tiles crunch.
It's rapid. Yeah, tiles crunch on the cards, and already finding value. One more player left to hunt out, sniff out. Moose, not long for this world. Hits the deck there. So does Icy. He's going to be found. Cloud9 making sure that they slow this one, tempered around in a moment. Hold down to that mid control that they just gained. They do still have a player disadvantage. The bonus round idea from G2 so far working out, but it's about how you stick the landing.
It's one of the most classic plays that you could possibly go for on a defensive bonus round as well. I think something the C9 should have been expecting and had a protocol for. But we were following the Phantom, so we missed it a little bit at the beginning. But I'm glad we solved the mystery.
Jonah P. He's tucked through. That's an underhanded flash, I believe, just to get them in. And Vanity just hops onto the head of Jonah P. Back of the site, anchoring. Valen. A lot to be asked of him now. Drops down and he hears that. He knows that Rooney's going to be approaching him. That is absurd. 3 bullets left. Not enough to finish him, but Rooney surely doesn't win this one. 1v2. Overhanded, long range with the artillery. Shocky sent flying. Recon.
Nice
It's
recon.
beautiful spam. Damage doesn't come through. 25 seconds left. Can't afford to slow this down. Another tap and run back. 4 bullets. Couple of spams. Exchange of the weaponry for even less bullets. How does he play this? Once more, doubled up. G2 side by side. Doesn't expect them to be coming from that position.
Big round for G2 to get on board. They've won both pistols, failed to capitalize on the bonus in the first half, but here they get that tiles crunch working to perfection. Set themselves up with an enormous advantage. Yeah, that full blind straight into Oxy. And Oxy's in a really committed position there, not using his Cloudburst to hide inside. I think that's a pretty big error, to be honest. You've got to be set up to deal with the tiles crunch in those kind of positions. And as a Jet, just smoke your feet. Smoke your feet, play inside of them. You know you're going to get hit by some kind of flash. Yeah, and this is the brutal part of being hit by a set strat like that works, is that you actually don't have too much to even modify. You know, you can talk to each other about how to stop another tiles crunch from happening, but G2 is certainly not going to do it on this round. Probably not going to do it for the rest of the half. So maybe we'll see it one more time.
Nice and rapid though from Oxy. Injection of pace. Dart to clear out towards market. I'm taking out the position. Jonah P almost with a punish. He's dropped onto 1 HP. And the paranoia. Oh, Valin covers it. Valin Kai now with the damage done. Look at this. Bullets firing forwards and true. Nicely done with the jump spot. Icy.
That's really
clean
good.
with the movement. Stun. Forwards, they got to know what these last few players are. Spikes picked back up. There's no real escaping from this one. G2 are eager to hunt down the remaining players.
Look at the discipline again.
Yeah, doesn't overstep
so
it with the
good.
swing.
It's so good. Every single time that G2 peaked there, they had another player ready to either distract for a wide swing or to double face or to trade. It's always really well coordinated from this G2 squad. I mean, look at that. Swinging in as Jonah P swings out. Icy then comes over to support Valin. And then as Leaf presses forward, he's got someone with him as well. Really lovely done.
Just like that, going up to 8-8. G2 more than back in it for the map itself. It's a team that they've been together as a core, this roster, for a long, long time. But honestly, the international experience that they've now acquired, from strength to strength. Played that many matches recently.
C9 have been struggling with the attack side on this map from what I can remember. It's been one where, obviously, it's difficult for any team, but I think it favors having some really set ideas so that eventually a couple of them break through and you can get some attack rounds going.
Drone to try and set up Oxy here.
Yeah, it's non-committal, it's just looking for picks. And no one's facing.
Yeah.
These were the spots in the previous match where G2 completely shut down Oxy. They didn't offer him any opportunities. They forced him to overextend, and then they shut him down by double facing him and having great utility. On the attack side, he had like a 0.6 rating. Really rough.
Paranoia, a lot of util going to be expended here, but it's just one stun that stops them. Icy has to reposition from the Hunter's Fury right into the open arms of these Cloud9 players, and they are tackling the site. Well enough.
30 seconds left.
Line forwards, Valen's still alive, tucked towards the corner, but they know where he is. His position was noted just from earlier. Top of the plant, up forwards, Trent trying to take the forward position, but it's Cloud9 who overwhelm it.
That's a great stabilizing round from Cloud9. Able to get in off the back of Rooney's ultimate. That's been a key point of coordination for Cloud9 today. They were good with it on the defense side as well, making sure that they use the pressure that it applies. You know, forcing Icy to be isolated in that spot and keeping Valin to only one in his anchor position. The economy for G2, though, is still looking fairly good, so...
Yeah, still able to get the buy together.
Yeah, we're going to get some rifle rounds.
Suppressed.
Valin caught by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it feel like he could be in wine, though.
Same game plan from Cloud9, though. Not for that big control. They just pre-fire the alarm bot.
This setup is such classic G2. Trent makes it feel like it's only him covering market in the hopes that you don't clear the hard left position and Leaf gets freebies. How often was this working at Shanghai? It felt like it was constant.
Jonah P holding for that long-range flash, although it's not going to be using it anytime soon. Might go for a re-clear. Yeah, they do. Oxy Joe biding his time, holds close to the corner, so not being caught by it. Drone only spotting one. That was Moose. Doesn't reveal away too much. Jump spot might, though. They see Oxy into mid, and now it's pretty evident it's going to be that B split. The anchoring player is going to be put under a tremendous amount of fire. G2, question is, how does Leaf really tackle it? Anybody watching for this one? Oh, jumping around. It's a little bit messy still. Lands two. And the rest of his team now ready to support. Reinforcements arriving into the fray. And tucked up, tight to the corner. Rooney once more. Last one left to stand against it. It's an onslaught that G2 are delivering here. It's going to be that 9-9. Evened up scoreline once more.
I'm out of here.
God, the look on Vanity's face as he runs into the smoke and sees Leaf in there. They're two Leaf? Yeah. Really? You've betrayed me and gone to the other side, and now you're ruining me and Zephyr. I mean, the spam as well through onto Moose. Yeah,
panicked.
The information that you pointed out in the round, though, they got the read on where that was headed. It was a nice idea from C9 to try to deny as much info as they could, make sure it was Moose breaking the drone, but dropped back into those defensive setups, and Valin had time to throw the smoke perfectly there.
One suppressed.
Trent without the Odin, So it is a bit easier for C9 to get in.
Dark flash to punish in case somebody was holding close to main.
Wow, okay, so a fake teleport there from Valen. He's in wine, and they've made it feel like they panicked. And reinforced B, perhaps hoping that that would indicate, all right, let's rush into A. They've overstacked the B site by accident, and then Valen would be able to snack on them from wine. But that's not the case, C9. Don't take the bait. They don't know exactly where the Omen is, but he's got to be somewhere past the line of scrimmage.
Cloud9 going for a fake now. No command going to be using to B main. Spike's nowhere near. All intentions going to be heading over towards the A site, and G2 have a full read on this. Not enough util or not enough of a sell from Cloud9. Nobody shifted the position. Valen straight back into wine, holding the close quarter angle. And it gets a little bit messy now.
You should run.
Locked down. Valen forced to peek. It is weird, and they know he's there.
30 seconds
They
left.
think.
An indicator, at least. Turning away. Precisely the wrong time there from Vanity. Still going to be covered and traded by Moose, but the lockdown for a lockdown. Trent go and walkabouts and finds just a wandering Oxy.
This is a weird one. Oxy was hoping that the B site was clear and he could give that info to his team, and now, I mean, this is just a save.
Yeah.
This is 10 seconds
10
on the
seconds
clock.
left.
All of Cloud9's ideas have come to naught. The fake left Oxy inserted on the B side of the map, and it was supposed to be plan B. Maybe even plan C, I suppose. If
Yeah.
Maybe if the fake had worked, that would be like plan A1. But yeah, Oxy's over-inserted onto B, and he just missed the timing on Trent. Trent's got really good awareness that that could be a possibility. None of the fast knife-out rotating, exposing himself to angles.
Yeah.
So very solid.
Yeah, a bit of Odin spam.
Yeah, Odin spam through these tiles, doors.
Players might be there to meet
Walls.
him. Yeah. We'll see if it finds some value.
It looks like it might. I mean, this is where Oxy needs to
Oh, wait a
cloudburst.
second. Here we go. Blinds it up. Does Cloudburst out towards the feet there. Not going to be spotted, but again, it does the work. It's a classic play.
Yeah, Oxy cloudburst forwards, and so the rest of his team can't hide inside of it.
Play still has to be committed. At least one of the blades for it. Again, G2 assuming the anchoring positions, defensive in nature. And a swarm's deaded across. Drone has to be broken. Oxy, it's a flash peek into the spawn stun. Not enough to slow him down, but there is that trade anyway. So some of those players now linking back up G2. The crossfire here. Pause being caught by Cloud9, but again, they want to try and fight this one, and it might be a miscall. Mistell as well. Not too sure what util they had really available for that.
Revealing area.
Potentially misfired. Another face though, doubled up together, forcing it to a 1v2. Rooney spam through, maybe just a shoulder peeking through.
If the double peek doesn't work the first time, or do it again.
Try it again.
Yeah. When C9 cut noise like that, G2 were worried. They'd be walking into sight, taking timings. They don't want that to be split up into a series of 1v1s. And this is a really common set play that we're seeing, and they're working. And I think that's a bit worrying for Cloud9, because it's not like G2 are bringing out anything new.
New ideas, yeah.
Yeah, new, bizarre to catch you off guard. C9 should actually have some awareness that these plays in round 15, round 20 are really standard on Ascent, and they're getting caught by them and losing very important rounds as a result. 2 Guardians and a Bulldog now for C9. G2 running away with it.
Getting into desperate territory. Not too much variation to the attack side game plan of Cloud9. Again, it's a lot of just mid-pressure, make sure that they remove the alarm bot and looking for picks, but Oxy has not got anything from this. Nobody has given him a sightline or a fight to take.
Oh, potential for a refight here into A main.
They hear it. Vanity jump spot. Stunned. Paranoia. Blind. Does get the connection. Yeah, Icy was blinded up. Again, another follow-up.
Wow, nice.
Util. It's relentless right now from G2, and they're finding all sorts of possibilities across the map. Sight gained at least for the front section of it, but main control swapped around here. Don't know how Leaf got into that spot. Crossing away. Rooney. Nice one. Magnetic straight to the dome. JP is going to be dropped into the crossover. They still have control of this. Leaf. Need to clear out Rooney. They're aware that he's got himself lurked deep up into the market angle. He's going to be a bit of a nuisance, and with him dealt with, now full attention and focus can be placed onto the site still. Zephyr does claim 1, 45 health to his name. Doubled up now into the high-low angle. Anybody who tries to take a step. Valen forwards! Just cleans both of them up!
Well, that shouldn't be happening. Monstrous play from the IGL of G2.
That's a high load he's going up against.
He's been so good this year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's just constantly delivering for his team. The calling's been immaculate, but also individually putting on a show. Up at the top of the scoreboard alongside Lee. And yet this play, 2 layers to it, so that the paranoia from Vanity
On target.
cannot stop everything that's happening. For C9, I think Oxy's got to realize they're scared of... You know, they're playing so disciplined around the map. I'm not getting my picks that I'm used to over towards market. So let's take another step forward. I think Oxy needs to find that confidence to just contact in a little deeper than he usually would to try to find G2. But it's tough. You don't want to run into crossfires.
You really don't. And G2 is so good at setting that level of play up. It was their game plan last time they played against Cloud9 as well. Stun is...
That is nice.
perfect with the placement.
Stun off the alarm bot and then double swing.
Yeah.
Cool setup. They've definitely put the time into finding out how to get the value from Neon even though you can't op. And plays like that are going to make Oxy a little more concerned about just walking into spots. But I think it's necessary. I think there really doesn't seem like another win con here for C9. They're going to send the exec.
Needs to be a round win. This is Cloud9's hopes for this map. Dwindling. Oxy lurking, underhanded with the flash as well, dominating this angle. Jonah P, not to be removed. Musto biding his time, waiting it out, and will get the punish in time. Out through heaven once more. Valin a little bit messy with it, but Vanity beautiful with the shooting. A knife out, Leaf caught.
Spike planted.
Shot dart. Scanning ahead.
Trying to have a little bit too much to do, and I think he realizes it himself, maybe. Possibly there with a spam kill, yep.
He'd have to get very fortunate to win this.
And he's already being pushed and pressured. So, Cloud9 staying alive in the map.
Yeah, and quite a nice idea. Like I was saying, contacting around the map I think is going to be really useful here because you're not running into an operator and G2 are holding very disciplined positions. This time it's double contact. It looks a little silly here from Oxy, but when Oxy dies, they don't expect there to be another portion of this, and Jonah P, a very free kill for Moose. And the reason that it didn't feel like a full A split is because Oxy isn't making a ton of noise. He's contacting and it makes it feel like he was just a backstabber. It's even, and G2 are a step away from the finish line.
Full group up from Cloud9. That was spread default. Of another sort. Looks like they just want to go straight into an A exec. There is only going to be the one player waiting for them. There's a Hunter's Fury to set this one up. Valin going to be feeling the heat here, still tucked into the position. Never to actually clear him out, and surely doesn't get away with this one. A kill to be found, finally traded. Oxy moves him from the fight. With Icy opping, this retake's going to be made more difficult, but it does have the ult.
He's got the ult, he's got the stun. They're missing Paranoia, that's the big one. And also a smoke for A main or the spike.
Finally getting planted.
I mean, playing offsite here. Shadows traveling. Feels like it'll be really good in the post.
And the ult offloaded into the hands. The Seer electrifying in nature. Icy spamming away. No easy fight's going to be given to them right now. Cloud9 are making sure that they play this so damn patiently. It's beautiful work from Oxy. Just weaves backwards and forwards away from the Jenny. A little bit of a tap of the damage, and the dash reposition is so damn smart. The face by Rune, he finishes it. 11th round. One more to drag it to OT.
Great decision there from C9. They come out of the timeout straight into an A exec. I don't know whether that was a hard read based on something that I've missed, but they found a pretty much free site. It was only Valin up at the top and they traded him out with it.
It was you or
Great little shot from Oxy, who also grabbed 3. Broken bye for round 24 for G2. This looks suddenly so doable for Cloud9.
Yeah.
Instant change of fortunes.
Big ult online too, they just want to run it back. All grouped up onto A, this time with a lockdown.
They can null command as well.
You should run.
Yeah, with that ult.
I mean, you can just wait that out.
Burnt up. Locked down. There's a deep knife as well that's going to be set across. 4 players tagged, this time obvious.
Yeah, the one thing that they've got to be aware of here is that the retake's going to be coming through with a null command from Jonah P.
It is.
Have they got a plan for that?
Oxy. He's the one who wants to take the fight. Entertainment! Nobody covering Valent's position. It's a kill found for it. Even expects it. The second go of things. Icy this time winning it out. 4v4.
No utility available here for C9. No paranoia. Now just getting it back.
Yeah.
I think
the nade as well. They're trying to delay. It's a shot. Finds it. They're all just caught into this corner. The intersection of hell, only the one player to bail them out, and that's Moose playing from the main angle. He needs to get value, needs to get kills, but there's a lot to be asked of him right now in this spot. Smokes spammed onto the angles, the appropriate positions, all known and noted, and everybody falling. Leave it to just one. Already broken. The final shot does it there. 13-11.
Defenders win.
Good closeout from G2. When he used to play Jet on this map, he'd often be updrafting on top of Yellow, updrafting on top of Generator, and he's not going to have that access to unusual angles vertically while playing Reyna. So he's got to make up for it in other ways by playing weird positions. And that is the big power of the Reyna, is that you're supposed to catch people off guard by playing in spots they don't expect.
I got you.
And certainly on the pistol round, he could be a bit of a demon.
Trying to be just on the high ground here. Yet to meet them. Shot down close in case there's that util seeking to deny the plant. All slow though, but a lot of noise being made, especially with that drone. It kind of orchestrates it. There's a heavy rotation by G2 into mid.
It's kind of weird actually. They're droning. I would assume that. Yeah, Vanity's kept the fuel actually really quite nice here.
And they want to fight forwards. Yep. Applying that pressure now towards all of these players, but no easy targets. At least there is. Trent onto the rotation. Dizzy though. Connection there. Lining up the screen, and the backfire position is going to be 4-4. One out by G2, but they still have to worry about his one player. Rooney tucked towards danger, and Oxy has this crossfire, but he is spotted. Valin, top of the classic, just quite missing. Oxy though, dropped to 34. Health. Icy, defuse, was coming online. Need to be broken, and the fight's one out towards the back anyway.
Nice stuff from Cloud9, showing us a range of ideas there. Managing their fuel very effectively. Normally, people are going to wall up as they cross over to Yellow, and I believe what they did was go for the Leah cross, so that then they keep fuel to be able to pop it up, and then still get forwards to Snowman. Small stuff, but it actually does make a huge difference, those little details, and catching opponents off guard, and giving yourself the timings you need to set up.
Boys, come on. It starts with a pistol, baby.
We just need the one pistol. Yeah, this is the first one that C9's been able to get in the series.
That's where it starts.
And it made a massive difference on Ascent. I understand where Imi was coming from, that they didn't play the attack half that great, but in my head, kind of neither did G2 play to perfection on their attack half.
I felt like both teams definitely put, all the focus, emphasis being placed on the defensive side to that map, but here on Icebox, definitely looks like Cloud9 have some very cool ideas. Although Zephyr,
that's not one of them.
Overextends, and that might be handing over a slight gun. Not too sure if he did have one of the weapons in his hands or not. Oxy, given any free sight lines of any free kills here for G2. Goal's going to be trying to do a bit of that economical damage. High Tide actually does cut away a lot of the common angles you would be trying to play for. And Oxy can't really spam with this one. Still with a Guardian. We'll get it along with the dismiss. Icy just tapping away at the defuse. Trying to pull that util out of them. Tapping away with the rifles. Finally getting the job done.
Grabbing that extra weapon as well for the upgrade.
Make them think.
And C9, they look like they want to brawl. In these post plants, they're not going to play super disciplined, sat back. What's the reason to? It wouldn't really play into the Reyna pick. So instead, what a shot. Instead, they're going to be playing these aggressive spots. They're going to be trying to put pressure on G2. And I think the way that G2's composition works, it kind of... G2 would like them to just sit back and not challenge. If you're playing a very passive post plant, then suddenly the Viper Harbor and the Gecko all get really big value. Zephyr's one away from getting thrashed.
Exactly. Snowball's starting to accrue.
There's my buddy.
Up and about now. How's the thrash? Probably seen quite a bit there. Got broke a little bit too late. Jump spot from Leaf. No punish. Almost there from Moose with the pre-fire. A re-clears core. G2. Dizzy. Just about missing.
Could have been a good timing there to try to go for the exec. You know that there was 2-3 players over towards mid. Zephyr may choose to use this thrash. What a shot! Opens it up. Trent was just looking for information. C9 had not made a whisper over towards green.
Yeah. Just intrinsically knew the angles.
Monster on the loose!
Util committed just to clear out towards
through
B.
mid.
Yeah, right
What a
through mid to
sick
clear it out.
idea.
It is a cool idea, just in case there were players just trying to play further back in terms of the position. Plants online for them too, so Cloud9, it's a great idea for their bonus round.
The plant's in an unusual spot there as well, actually. Because Zeppa didn't plant with Wingman, they've gone for like a tucked position.
I think they can still
They can still
play with the
spam it.
mid players, right? Spam
Yeah,
it.
from
Not
the mid.
too much danger there. Cove's going to be immediately dealt with, broken. High Tide does cause some potential problems. Have to be really calm and collected, I think, into this moment with these shots. But yeah, the mid players can finally apply that pressure. The damage done in the kill. Time ran away from them. This is G2 that are going to be falling short of the mark, shy of the mark. Cloud9, though, beautiful work, honestly.
Yeah, they've put a lot of time into this. You can see why they've gone for this as their map pick in this series.
Yeah.
And looking at the other side, G2's Icebox, they were winning in Americas. This composition looked pretty good for them. No duelist kind of look. But when they came over to play this at Masters, they didn't really find any value. They were getting... Actually, I mean, against some teams, they got toasted. They lost 13-1 to T1.
Yeah.
And that was a team that was just looking to try to take fights, challenge them aggressively. That's exactly what C9 are going to do today.
Plays to the strengths of this team. Again, look at the disrespect. I mean, again, using the leer to cross forwards and past. Meet their match in terms of the players there. Valorant does get the one and still staying alive, but the drone should clear him out of the position. He's got reinforcements with Trent, but the guns aren't really there. Still taking the swing. An attempt to defy. Again, doesn't have a rifle, only the Stinger. Cove to evacuate. And even pushes back up. This is unexpected. With the Cascade. He's going for it, man. He's just swinging. They're holding.
I mean, I respect it when you're in an eco round like this,
Drone.
but I think C9 should still be able to handle what's being thrown at them.
Got the spike, Wings.
Plan's finally there. One side to Dizzy. You can't be letting this one slip, though. They're being plucked apart, man. At the seams. Left it just down to Moose now. Doesn't matter about the lack of weaponry because they got the man advantage. Spraying it through almost there with the transfer. Finally with the bullets landing. It's Moose who cleans it. Got very dangerous for a second. Certainly did.
It's a big one from Moose with the Red Bull clutch. That would have been a bad one for C9 to let slip. Had G2 with only 2 players left, Leaf and Trent, finding kills in spots where they're at long range with the Stinger jiggle deacon. It did not feel like they should have been favored. But there's so many angles that they could swing from. I think they caught the Cloud9 players a little off guard. Heading into another rifle round, that damage is going to keep the economy somewhat honest for C9, but it's still heading a little bit out of control. Zeppa, another, you know, he had the thrash on the bonus. Now he's going to have the thrash on the first rifle round.
What happens when you just get these wins on the attack side? Getting the plant constantly, getting the orbs constantly.
You snowball out of control, and this might be another example of that. This is very similar. G2 triple pushing down mid.
Hunter's Fury. This is being used. Catching the backside player. 1 tag, 2 tags, enough to get at least a kill. Jonah P drops down now, forced to take the spectator seat. Rest of G2 now also left to simmer. Look at this pause. Just being inserted into the round by Cloud9. They're going to be waiting out the high tide. It fades away, waiting for the Viper fuel back online. So as soon as the wall's back up, now you're seeing the plan come through. Drop down though, maybe just to try and fight them. Catching T2 potentially when they were setting up, and yet not aware. Vanity already pressed up, taking all that space. There's an ult wasted. Leaf still lands it.
They've got to be careful not to toss this one away. Previous round got very close. If Zeppa takes a challenge against Valin and throws his life away.
If Leaf won that, maybe there was a chance and a possibility, but
yeah, maybe.
At this point, 1v3, Vanity or Valin got to be thinking about giving this one up. Oxy on the hunt. He knows that the money's running short. Pre-fire. Just hearing footsteps. Valin, got to stay alive in the spot.
Yeah, I mean, the kills are valuable to some degree because it's going to keep C9 a little honest, but to be honest, the economy's going to be fairly heavily out of control here. As close as map 1 was.
Revealing area.
Uneven halves for sure, but Very close between the two teams, both excelling on defense, struggling on attack, looking like they had good game plans. I mean, this map looks like G2 are getting outclassed. And C9 have got great change-ups of tempo, good ideas. They're playing aggressively on site, and G2 can't figure out where they are. I mean, look, there's no way that Icy expected Vanity to be in that kind of position.
Yeah, even the side take there, I mean, the wall goes up, the plan goes down, and just baiting G2 into the setup.
Yeah, I think their comp is a little behind the times, and I think that was demonstrated at Masters Shanghai. And it's not that it's terrible, it's not that you can't win with it, it's just difficult. And on the other side of things, C9 have put themselves, thanks to their incredible regular season record in stage 1 of 5-1, they've got all the room in the world to experiment. They probably need maybe another one on the board, one match win to be able to just solidify their spot in playoffs. And then it's all just about how you perform there. So if there ever was a time to experiment, to see whether Reyna works for Oxy, to throw in some Neon or ISO picks as we head deeper into their map pool, it would be now.
Yep, they got that breathing room. A heavy stack of G2 on a half buy. Doesn't come to fruition, but they're fast to follow all these noise cues.
And it's so similar over and over again.
Yeah, it is.
So they just take B main control with a lot of their refreshable utility. The Dizzy being used, recon, wall, and then they go for the exec, and they take a lot of space when they do.
Some note, the Dizzy forwards, immediately broken. Zephyr was out of position, out of nowhere, still Vanity.
They still
Claims the
don't
space.
expect him.
Yep. Now he's got a pit as well. He's going to be layering this one deep across the site. It's going to be making it hard to pass. Shock darts, long range.
Scanning ahead.
G2 not wasting time getting themselves into this spot here, but rifle in hand, Oxy
Last player
already
standing.
chewing them up. Down to just Trent already with the decay damage, 1 HP to his name, so very little opportunity, and Cloud9 know it. Just from spamming through into the pit. 6 rounds in a row. This next one coming up is going to be the important one, but again, just the amount of wins that Cloud9 will be able to get on themselves. Zephyr's had this ult now for about 2 rounds, maybe 3.
Yeah.
They've still got this Thrash to be using in the next, a pivotal buy round.
Yeah, they had it round 3. They could have used it round 5 if they needed to, didn't need to. And look, the way that Jonah P is still getting caught out and the way that they're not expecting Oxy to be in these kind of spots,
Remaining.
I feel like there's still a little bit of a lack of awareness from G2. 6 rounds in, the Cloud9 are going to be on site. They're going to be on site, they're going to be deep on site, and they're going to be fighting you. And normally teams are only going to do that when they run a double smokes comp. We see a lot of the Viper Clove or Viper Omen comps go for those kind of positionings. But they're doing it just off Oxy's Reyna. And that is not a good start for G2 in this round.
Really not. You see G2 trying to make those adaptations as well with their setup. They set up with 3 players over towards B main, a high tide ripped across.
But Vanity's already one step ahead.
Exactly.
It's like, all right, well, we've been doing this B play over and over again. They're going to have an adjustment for it. Let's go kill Icy over on A.
Now that they got that opening pickup, defense is going to be weaker inherently. They have to spread fewer players across the map. Lockdown used by Moose. Lockdown for a lockdown.
Yeah, not choosing to use the Sovereign to break it.
Oh, Hunter's Fury. Or Trent might get punished here, surely. Pushed up. No, it's being covered. So Vanity was seeking to at least do that damage. Valen was covering it over the shoulder. Moves. Can't land it. It's a messy spray. Onto the high ground here. 30 seconds remaining for Cloud9. Wall in their face. Running out of options in a 3v3. With Vanity going down, don't have the luxury of just waiting for the high tide to go down, put the wall back up, have to offend some of these ults. Thrash going to be used to clear the way. Up across the ropes, seeing the barrel. No, did Oxy miss it? Still adjusts! Snaps to the head. And everything's being met and found with overwhelming firepower. It's a Cloud9 classic.
Remember what I was talking about earlier, the difference between Oxy on attack and defense the last 2 times that these teams met. On defense, he was still finding huge amounts of value. On attack, G2 shut him down. Oxy could not find the entries. Would you believe it watching Icebox? Not a chance. Look at him, he's just wandering around wherever he wants. Finding pigs left, right, and center in very unexpected positions. And that's the value of the Reyna. Because you can walk your way into that spot as other agents, but you're going 1 for 1.
Yeah.
With the Reyna, you get the kill, you're out. Your teammates can cover the retreat.
And this is all being teed up for a dominant map from Cloud9. Look at this, against a half-by round, conditioned heavily over towards B. Now they set their sights over towards A.
Show me the 13-0. I mean, it's looking like it.
So like it, man.
G2 surely going to be able to win rounds here or there. Maybe a Thrifty would be a good one to get them started, but it almost feels like they're out of it already.
Yeah. Oxy's forwards will get taken out. Shot from the Sheriff, but Leaf not expecting it. Look at it, man! Can't fight over the backside control. Yeah, it was a half-by, but dude, I'm telling you, Cloud9,
We feeling
there
good?
are too many good ideas about this one, and G2 are just not making those adjustments.
And
Or
when
maybe just the
Vanity-
comp just can't do it.
Yeah, the comp does struggle with it too. When Vanity gets into a rhythm like this, he destroys teams. When he's got a good feel of his team are having success and he knows what adjustments his opponent's going to make, he's always one step ahead. Look how he's predicting the adaptations that Vanity's making, and he's always finding the next layer to it. He's very good at staying in control when he's in control. Does he have some weaknesses with making the adjustments when things are struggling? Yeah, I would say so. But here, no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, that spells desperation a little bit with Icy opted into the operator, and Oxy at just the right time picks it up himself and just diffs him, shuts him down.
It just feels like they're in the comms of G2.
Yeah. Pre-fire again, same spot. Moose not able to collect it with the bullets, but again, that opening pickoff surely sets him up nicely. Moose as well is causing all sorts of chaos into mid. Finally traded, cleaned up. Vulnerable though, applied. Jonah P is steady, can't quite land it, not with the aim. There's too much util just flying forwards.
Spike planted.
Down.
Okay, well, they do manage to clean up the one. Oxy just trying to transition back over towards safety with the rest of his team. It is a 2v3. Trent manages to find that. Hello, now it's a possibility. Wasn't looking like it prior, but definitely know what these players might be. Rooney, crucial and critical kill. Shot-Tart, just pre-fired onto the corner. Trent almost finding it. Damage done to them. Dart, an attempt at the timing, knows where the last player is. No more util, and it all comes down to ring around the rosies. And Trent making all the noise, and Rooney knows it. Toying with him. Won't allow him. Not for the fight.
Ah, beautifully done. 9 in a row. Trent with the consolation ace. I mean, that's got to be one of the most gutting feelings.
Yeah.
You get the clip, but at what cost?
Oxy's so ready for that.
Icy is holding for the wide swing, just thinking, well, yeah, why on earth would he shallow swing with an off?
Remaining.
But again, G2 are just one step behind. Oh, that's just so brutal the way that Rooney's toying with Trent there.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of vibes that Cloud9 love. Again, they're a team that loves being in control. Do they maybe, again, have a choking problem when they start to see things spiraling away from them? Maybe, and that's the top of Kitchen, where you're on the Kitchen looking towards the bridge at the top of B Nest. You play anti-flash, you can swing out, you've got really nice spots. And instead they keep trying to fight forwards and fighting in Nest itself. These are not good positions, I don't think.
My goodness, with a reveal, almost to punish Jonah P with a pit. Darted down. Oxy will have to respect this.
G2 have got some great ultimates here to go for some kind of retake strategy. Harbor ult into the Hunter's Fury is pretty fantastic.
Silent jump up. No one's watching Belt for Jonah P.
Right here.
Slight blind spot for him, and he could get overwhelmed quite quickly. Look at how close they are to him. Drone, heard. Surely some util goes flying forwards. Yes, with the molly, but I believe it missed, and already is around to the side. They've caught him out. The pitch dropped down. There's a weaker defense and so much unawareness across the board. Leaf just wasn't expecting it. Oxy, of course, is going to take these liberties. This guy, so willing to fight. Reckoning, Dizzy, a miss, a rebound here, and a fight forwards. Valen finally with a cleanup. Detainment, it's there with the Thrash finally utilized. G2, every ult at their disposal and finally being expended to potentially getting a round win, a 2v3. Grouping up together now. Playing this one, and with the wars falling and fading away, finally they get one on the board.
The dreams of the 13-0 are dead. This is tragedy. Yeah, it's good ultimates there for G2. They use all three of them though, and that's the only round that they've been able to put on the board. And not only did they have to use the ults, but also Valin had to shut down Oxy. Oxy there had forced a 1v1 that if he wins, that's probably the round again. This kill right here, a massive one for Valin to get, but they've struggled with it in every other round. 9-1. Is there any chance that Cloud9 are going to be worse on the defense side? I just don't think so with Oxy playing Reyna. I think there's so many ways that he can play Reyna and disrespect G2's utility.
Yeah, it feels unlikely.
To get advantages. You know, even if G2 make it 3 at the half, I'm struggling to see how that could be enough. Oh, and Jonah P's missed the
yeah,
as well.
whiffage with the orb, so the one-way's not set up. Can't pick that one back up.
When it rains, it pours.
But a stack of 3 players to meet this. Might be exactly what G2 ordered. We'll find out. It's a Dizzy and a refight together. Surprised that nobody was really ready for it. But there's going to be the thrash, at least used. Detain, Jonah P, skipping and hopping around. It needs to be defended. His team should have his back. Rooney, precise. One bullet did it.
Yeah, Rooney had shock darts as well that he could have tried to pop into Jonah. I don't think they realized quite how low Jonah P was. It tells you a lot about how the game's going that I really feel like this 2v4 might be winnable for C9. See whether G2 give them anything.
Oh, hello. Is that going to be deep enough? Oh, just narrowly avoided. Jonah P, 5 HP. One left to stand and one will fall. So second round on the board. G2.
Going for that reclear strategy over towards B. I was talking about the fact that with the KO Gecko, then that's a really good strat. I didn't think it would work just with one Dizzy, but the angle that Oxy found was really high up in the air and actually caught Oxy dead to rights, the rest of C9 swinging in to try to punish and couldn't win the duels. So they got value out of it, but it took them so long to try something like that.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough as well with how dominant this has been for Cloud9. Money taking a bit of a tumble as a Spectre purchase for Vanity. Rifles, the Guardian for Rooney. The money is getting a little bit weak now. Full throttle. Sending it over towards the A site. It's Cloud9's plan. It's going to be a high tide, but will that stop them? Doesn't look likely. Nevalier going to be committed. Dart through into the back. Lots of spaces where potentially G2 could be anchoring, and they definitely swarmed it with enough players now. And with Oxy shut down, that should open up the floodgates. G2 now surely feeling like they can play this into deeper positions, and again that weapon disadvantage affecting with Vanity not winning that fight. It's Leaf online. 3 so far in a round, 2 players left to stand. The charge against him. Gecko with the defuse, look at that. Wingman already getting the half online. C9! It doesn't matter.
A tragedy for Leaf. He did what he could, but the Killjoy on the side slaps down G2's hopes. Curses be damned, we're not getting the 9-3.
That looked so set up for it.
It did, but I think it's fair that this ends 10-2, to be honest with you. It's just been so dominant for Cloud9.
Really has.
They've barely had chances, G2. And even when they have, some of them have gone awry like this one.
Cloud9 clearly been doing their homework on this map here. I mean, map 1 was a tale of, you know, 2 sides, 2 teams being comfortable on the defensive half of Ascent. We'll find out if that's the case still here onto I come back. I mean, it's...
No.
I don't even want to call it. Yeah, it's just been pure brilliance from Cloud9 start to finish. Let's see if it's mirrored on their defensive half, starting with the pistol round.
Yeah, I feel like Oxy should be even better on the defense. The way that Reyna works, the angles that you can play, they're running a bait and switch for him right on the pistol. Vanity and Zeppa here supposed to distract so that Oxy can get value.
Back to me.
Holding this up close and personal. Seeking to fight here with the drone. Is there going to be anybody breaking this one? Want to clear out these players. I believe they didn't spot it. And Oxy still ready to just start to pluck apart these players with the movement. It's nice and tricky. Still with a shot. It's rattled away. Zeppa. Firing off on all cylinders. Leaf. He's going to get cheeky now.
That's a big one.
Loves to go for the A-lurks, and he's finally going to be rewarded, at least in this instance.
Yeah, that's huge. Opens up the site, actually gives them an opportunity there. Argument to be made that Moose should have been playing that a little safer, but I think credit to be given to Leaf, and he's got himself into another position, looking to try to win the round out, basically right here with this swing.
Yeah, shock dart, at least the dart itself. But too late, not expecting that Leaf would already be up there. 1v2. Vanity. Lampot alerting his position. Already playing this one so nicely. G2 not willing to really give anything away. about if Vanity can try and catch this timing. Valorant is looking in multiple directions. I believe spotted, yes, just ever so slightly. Shots through the box, but Leaf with the wraparound eventually there.
So C9 get the first pistol round, G2 respond with the other. But are we really going to see G2 run all of the rifle rounds back?
I mean, it's on a scent.
Certainly doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely.
I mean, this round as well, remember, Oxy kind of whiffed. The setup worked. Oxy had a timing to be able to peek out, grab one, and he just missed the shot. That's not going to happen that often. His aim is very good. So G2 getting away with it just a little bit there, and Leaf also doing a great job of being able to open things up on the other side of the map.
Same setup here, going to be using the wingman. Pushed the back, I believe spotted Oxy, even though it was broken. G2, they know that the push is coming, man. I mean, they're up against an eco round, and Jonap's just holding forward at that slightest of off angles.
Good awareness.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things about G2 at Shanghai was that they frequently were finding themselves just getting dominated on one map in a BO3 and then still winning anyway. Usually it was the first one, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, that was the narrative going around, right?
But I think it's a similar kind of thing to this, in the sense that it didn't knock their morale, right? If you're trying to learn anything from that kind of pattern, it would just be that they're not going to dwell on losses. So even if C9 very cleanly closed this out with like 13-4 scoreline or something, I think G2 are going to be good enough to be able to reset for Lotus.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
On the other side, though, another thing that you could point to is that they weren't able to make comebacks happen because they did get blown out on maps. Like, for example, the 13-1 against T1.
But this is, you know, it's weird to think about it, but G2 are one of our, you know, most experienced, you know, core rosters at this point.
Yeah.
I still think of them as, you know, this guard duo that was new to Reykjavik and didn't quite make their mark on an international stage, but the amount of experience they've built up now, just in Tier 2, find themselves here at Shanghai making the deepest run out of all the teams from the Americas.
Absolutely. They've been to 2 international events, placed on the podium in the most recent, and they had the experience to win in Ascension.
Yeah.
They are giving it to Leaf. I mean, Leaf was giving it to Vanity in the previous round as well, so, you know, it's all...
Messy breakup.
It's brutal when that kind of stuff happens. The children have to split their time.
They
spend the weekends with Leaf.
Yeah.
That's a long-range duel.
Yeah, okay.
But Rifle's back online. If there's any hope of a comeback happening, it would have to start here.
Bonus round conversion. Do you start believing?
No. No. I mean, no, not at all. Ask me again 5 rounds from now.
I'll keep trying to pull it out of you.
Yeah, no.
Get him, wingman.
But I think it's less to do with what the scoreline actually is and more if it looks like G2 have got a really good idea of what to do on their attack side. This composition's got really big ultimates to play around, but they're not going to be active all the time, so it's, you know, difficult to get that old cycle working for you.
Yeah. High tide across to the drone. Interesting pathing. That's
quite good.
Yeah. Zephyr's going to be forced out of position here from this. Look at the spam and the damage. No bullets going to be tagging and slowing them down. Vanity just trying to provide that covering fire.
Meanwhile, Oxy glued to his position in maze. And he is not giving them an opportunity to go back over towards A. But it also means that he might be out of this round completely.
Are they relying on Leaf to potentially get something done? Might not want to go for the committal, but it does reveal his position there with an Anaswarm being thrown.
Yeah, Oxy
drops down.
Red alert.
Oxy. Yeah, on point. Timing was kind of given essentially to him here, and now Cloud9 can stack this one freely, knowing that Leaf has been caught out of the mix, out of the picture. Vanity inside that cove, make sure that he just really asserts himself in that position. Cloud9 overwhelming him now. They've got all the weaponry available. Still here for G2. See the extension into the round with Jonah P. Isn't that forward angle still? He's going to have to take a few more risks, I think, to make this one possible. Leah in his face. Blinded. Oh, they lined up!
Oh, no.
Jonah P! Surely don't do this to him. The professor at work. Score might be in session, but still it's a 1v2. It's a lot to overcome. Just the foots peeking out over the edge, dropping down, Lou. But okay, Moose. Barely any time to reset his aim, but still hits the shot.
Great effort from Jonah P, who was fantastic throughout Shanghai, especially at the beginning of that event. But too little, too late, and C9 still overcome. Oxy does such a great job there of not, you know, overthinking things and
30
and
seconds.
not so much overthinking, but rotating to want to be part of the action, I think, is a very common flaw of duelists. Oh, I've got to go where they're going. And instead, just holds his time, super patient, rewarded for that patience. And allows his team to focus on the B hit when it comes through. And good awareness from Vanity as well, gets inside the cove. Dominates that space so that Valen can't make a play.
Revealing area.
Again, just showcasing that C9 are so far ahead of what G2 are
My
doing.
ult is ready.
They know that Leaf loves to lurk.
Go for this
aggro.
lurk, yeah. Alone.
He's always aggressive on that side of the map.
This time punished. The heavy presence of all those players. This is Rooney offloading a Hunter's Fury. Unorthodox for the position, but I guess when the entirety of A is afforded to, you can do it.
And they've just got the read. I mean, when Leaf is that far forward on his own, they know that it's everybody else over towards B.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Vanity's just got an internal map of exactly where the G2 players are positioned. Too easy for him at the moment.
G2 are going to be forced to slow this one into the mid round. Think the walls. Finally some fuel left in the chamber, so Jonah P can get that wall up now for the plan. Okay, an exchange there with the mollies. Mosh pit down and around. A lot of spam and a lot of bullets exchanged, but Jonah P spotted. Going for the aggressive angle and play.
Yeah, and Moose holding in a spot that G2 were trying to make work, but G2 were getting pushed by Arena. Moose doesn't have to worry about that.
Cascade there. A lot of damage onto these players. A tap from Vanity finally to committal, at least with that wingman. IC gets it, but half onto the defuse. It's being defended almost fully, entirely. 12th round. Gained and granted. Cloud9 up to it. One more step is all they need to take to get to Lotus.
Match point.
This is looking dangerous for any future opponents of Cloud9. Icebox looks good for them here. Attack, defense, they've got solid ideas, good understanding of what their opponents are going to try to do. I'd like to see them go up against a team with a more, like, fresh comp. I do think that G2's needs adjusting. And they tried to do that in the middle of Masters, but they just didn't find anything they really liked.
Yeah.
They tried running the Sage for a bit, and they were like, nah, it doesn't really work.
And G2 are just facing that reality that comes with, you know, you play at these international events, guess what? Cloud9 weren't spending 2 months just twiddling their thumbs, but we might see an explosive end to the map just here and now. These one-way positions, one at tons from Zephyr, tagged up by the drone, still just oscillating wildly with the movement. It's G2. Managed to overwhelm that position, still here, just trying to dodge and juke it away, but you can escape it. Thrash hunting just down the IGL with Vanity falling. It's a gap in the smoke, not enough for Rooney to play around. Everybody falls.
Thanks, little man.
Moose forced to save here. There's really no chance in hell that he's going to go for it.
Thrash is ready.
Nah,
Thrash is
there's no
fine.
shot whatsoever. Zeppa's also only got 200 credits, so saving a weapon here is useful. Vanity was scrambling in that spot. He's giggling as he got caught by the Thrash. And he's recon darted Thrash, desperately trying to backpedal in that situation. But some important duels there, won by G2. They were holding, ready for C9 to go for the swings, punishing them. It's going to be important, but it would have to be, you know, another 7 in a row.
Yeah, you don't believe yet, do you?
No,
I don't need to ask the question yet?
No, you don't need to ask the question
Okay.
whatsoever.
Okay.
But
Wait a little bit.
no, you don't have to wait. You don't, I'll give you the answer in
No,
perpetuity.
I'll wait a little bit. I know the right time.
Yeah.
When it's a real comeback and a fake comeback. Yeah, just trying to fight this one up close and personal here from Cloud9.
One enemy remaining.
Even without a Thrash being used, the Thrash was just a cherry on top. They were just getting dominated by the util that G2 had available to them.
But C9 have the opportunity to take those kind of risks because they were at 12-4.
Yeah.
They've got 8 chances, now down to 7. Write it on the screen. But they've got so many opportunities to take risks, and eventually one will probably pay off. And they can especially take risks on rounds like this.
Now, why not a little bit of a mid-play? Sweeping through with a reckoning.
Spike drop.
No golden beams of light pointing towards any player, so they know the site is entirely cleared out. They will be able to save some util for the post. Leave with the plan. Not being pushed back in time. It's a fast flip by Cloud9. They want to try and play into this one. There's a Viper's Pit. Lay it down with a lockdown. This will be broken. I believe there's an angle if they do manage to get themselves into that 4-10 position. Up and over the top of the rope. Zephyr, this is a risky job. Risky
this is
business. He
awesome.
can't find anybody. He's going to be detained right behind
Yeah.
them. And up and over the ropes, they just don't know this guy.
They're not going to think he's here.
Damn sneaky. Leaf is down. There's no way, Zephyr. Just, oh my goodness. Survives the entire time, and damage done to Valor means he was a softened up target. Already through and around. Vanity. A tap onto it, forcing it through with a thrash. He's right above them. None the wiser. Detained up. Right clicks, knife out. Shanking him in place. Cloud9. That's the way they do it.
Defenders win.
Okay. Oh, that's simple.
Viper and getting that double initiator online is not standard. So I think that's mostly where my eyes are drawn to. Have C9 cooked stuff up, right? Do they actually have some good ideas? Because I think that's what's defined at least the map too, at least Icebox.
Heavy presence here by Cloud9 out towards C-Mound. Giving it up for Moose though. I mean, G2, we know the style of this team, how they like to play. Chances, Moose, almost punished. Way out of the real chance of him potentially getting picked off, but once more, they just group up, hold the space. They're gonna make sure that they put Leaf into that 4 position over towards Mound. Potentially I'll give it up, and Jonah P, that is a nasty one.
Yeah, that's great. And now there's nobody home over towards the A side. Not sure the G2 will know that for sure, but just the fact that Zephyr was jiggling like that might give them some indication that there's only max 1 player left. C9 really thought that this was a re-hit over towards C, and now they're starting to scramble. But we can see that it's ending B as well. So C9, the defensive rotation's getting pulled all over the place very early on because of Valent's calling.
30 seconds left.
Clearance into the corner there with a trip broken 2. Paranoia, not wasting any time with it. It's already sent flying by Vanity. Gonna have to use those satchels to try and push them back and away, but the call is made by Cloud9. They have swarmed
Down B.
straight over the position. Oxy. He's definitely done enough here with 3 kills into the round. Time is running short for him. It's a weird situation. An aid rebounds,
10
but
seconds
it's
left.
only going to be preventing Jonah P from really pushing forwards. Who is going to be finally getting this plant down? Hold. Jonah P just needs to land this one.
Planted.
Just walked it out entirely. And there is the face. Adjustment in the aim by Icy.
Why has Oxy thrown his nade before they tap? He could have used that. There was like 10 seconds left on the time. He could have used that to deny the plant, surely. That was a bizarre one. I was just about to say, Oxy's done such a great job at getting a second nade online here. He can win this round. And then it just kind of gifted them an opportunity to get a free plant down. I think we're going to see this a lot, though. C9 flood defend into B. It was what they, in my opinion, were the best at on Lotus. Was putting pressure onto the B plant and then execing straight into the retake.
Yeah.
And Oxy is the biggest reason for that, because he's fearless. This time, though, doesn't quite work out. And C9 lose another pistol. So only the single pistol won for Cloud9.
G2 just aiming to sniff out if Cloud9 are stacked with any bodies. We can see that they are.
Yeah.
Whole team.
And it's a fairly common setup, you know, to run. Like, you have your 4 players on one side of the map. You have your 1 player on the other. And then you're just going to have Leaf kind of walk closer and closer over towards the C site. And if Leaf doesn't see anything, then you can go back to him. And if he gets punished, that's fine. Then you know where the stack is and you can commit over towards A. And the key here being that Leaf is one of these players without a weapon. So if he does go down, taking the slightly more aggressive lurk play, you're not really losing anything. You're not giving a weapon over to your opponent.
It's
So
all well and good, Josh, but I sleep.
30 seconds
yeah.
left.
I sleep when the team makes the optimal decision and stacks the side on the eco.
Well, and I think that's one of the big reasons why G2's underrated, is because people sleep when optimal Valorant is played. People love Oxy pick Reyna, run at them. You know, so it's just the way that G2 like to play. They've got a fundamental understanding of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's all come kind of top down from the way that Josh RT has been coaching Valen and the way that Valen thinks about it.
Leaf caught with a stun there, but didn't hand over a weapon.
Exactly. It's not the biggest deal in the world. C9 are going to be able to go down to Spike. Now that should be
As he's sticking.
Yeah. All good.
All good.
All good.
All good.
So that's the reason that you plant in that spot, is that when you're stood on top of mound, you have a headshot angle. But
Or use a gun, whichever.
squeaky bum time.
Did get close. Leaf with the Outlaw purchase. A little bit
Now
of a preview.
there's a classic we haven't seen too
Yeah.
much of.
And
so far in
honestly,
this.
rife for punishment. The amount of teams that have just been really stretching the economy, going for half armor purchases. It's been a lot of them so far in Americas. You're seeing
Yep.
two online
Two.
right there. Could have attempted a circle.
Fantastic circle.
You want to give it another go?
Stay focused.
No.
It's live as 3 actually now. Oh no, 2.
No, still two, but
Suggested.
different players.
Okay. Wallbang angles though being spammed out. Not too much more damage being applied. Valid is forwards now with the horn. Tension was diverted away from this one. Oxy tries to stand his ground, only with the trade eventually falling. And Rooney's going to be spotted from that Prowler. He needs to use some util to try and get himself out of there, but there's no punish from G2. They weren't really eager
Gun
for
here.
the engagement.
You'd think the C9 should be favored in these kind of rubble fights, considering that they have the breach, but not quite working out for them there. That's a lot of damage, though. Huge damage
is.
onto Moose and Rooney.
I mean, just carved his way right through them, but no kill to be found. Still on a single digits of HP. On either side of them, Trent. Door open now, Prowler. Maybe it can
Still
pave the way over towards this A
Find
side.
you.
Haunt will clear, at least for the back. Pit still needs to be watched just in case. Good heads up by Trent. Just playing out of the calm position with the plants. Make sure he doesn't get caught by that aftershock.
And Leaf will have been screaming in the comms the damage numbers that he did.
Oh yeah. 3v3, very winnable right now for G2.
All super grouped up, though, and Vanity still has a paranoia.
He's going to be holding for it.
Satchel out.
Still here, Satchel. Sent out flying forwards, very early. Paranoia's there, gliding, walking through, spam into it, in through the smoke. Vanity cleared up though, still Moose sticking now and through bullets. It's all it takes. Spraying them all down, Rooney realizing it now. Didn't get the half onto the diffuser, just got to get a bit of a move on and running the hell out of there. Keep the rifle into the next, but a bonus round. There's one out by G2 here. These ults are coming online very quickly. That snowball potential. We're going back into the old hood classic.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that this G2 composition excels at, is getting that snowball online. And if they're going to win the rubble fights on top of all of that, then they could easily run away with the attack half.
One enemy remaining.
This is a rough beginning for Cloud9. And Imi, frustrated. It's another pistol and another bonus that they've given up. So similar to what went wrong for them on Ascent.
Yeah, the stress settling in.
Yeah. He had hair at the start of this game.
For G2, again, Jonah P. A bit dangerous. Rooney spots that, surely, sees it. They can't quite take the fight, at least without dropping down. It's making a lot of noise. Jonah P even here, this one, Dizzy, pre-aimed and fired forwards. Now with a showstopper, Oxy wants to send this! Bloody hell, Icy. Good movement there with a satchel.
Nice seize as well from Trent, making sure that Oxy couldn't get any further forwards. I think it might be time for Rooney to give the rifle over to Oxy. They're going to try to force this one into Jonah P.
It's a bit of a disaster round so far for Cloud9. They've got to try and convert this in some way or form if they're going to be expending ults. But already losing these players. Jonah P.
Vanity's going to have a try at it.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. The strongest
Where's he gonna
rifler.
Trip, punish through the wall. Seppa. At least through main, actually. Stand corrected. Out through the smokes. Once more. That's a deep push by Leap. And being punished. It
30 seconds
is Vanity. Just the one for the trade. 27 seconds left. Spike still needs to go down here. And they're scared of the util. Flying forwards now with a mosh and a nade. They're seeking to deny this one with only 20 seconds left. There's definite opportunities, but a Dizzy. It's going to be aimed. Snap 2. Broken. No flash there for them. 13 seconds, still needs to be held, and it's a spammable angle. Moves at 1, follows through, and there's the win in sight eventually. Cloud9 doing enough to stall that one out into a favorable position overall in the round. They needed to win that. You're expending the showstopper in that fashion.
Absolutely. That's a huge one to get Cloud9 back into it. All of the frustration that was on Emi's face, I think he'll be super happy about this one. The opening parts of the round didn't look great. But Vanity managed to find his way in here, throw a nice smoke. And then Cloud9 went for another one of those flood defenses that were working really nicely on Ascent. We've already seen one almost work on B. Doing a good job, and Cloud9 using the time effectively against G2.
Pre-fire almost took Jonah P out.
Yeah, I think Jonah's going to find it
Placing
difficult to
swarm
stay
grenade.
alive in some of these spots if
Swarm
he's going to be
grenade out.
perma-lurking. C9 want to force the action. You kind of have to when you run in the double initiator. It's either that or trap plays or retakes. Kind of pick your poison between the three.
Yeah. Really giving up the orb, though. Cloud9 not willing to contest over towards C-Mound, so Icy now one away from the ult. Don't believe the orb is still going to be up over towards A, and Cloud9 still have control of Rubble anyway. It's doubled up. Oxy and Zephyr could do some serious damage. How did G2 clear this? Many ways to do so. Wall up, probably going to be dropping it down alongside the Horns as well. Zephyr's trying to get in front of this one here. It's blinded though. Paranoid, I believe, and just doesn't know which timing to take here. Oxy still hard committed in with 6 bullets left. Once more stands his ground, looking for the challenge, but nobody's going to be meeting him. G2, fast move now, wrap around across the world, make their way over towards C, but it hasn't been
30 seconds
at
left.
least left from the side. Valen trying to make some noise up through B. Has pulled a few players. In fact, Moosey left the position where he was hard anchored. Now still going to be trying to meet them. Doors open wide. Not going to be met. And everybody falls.
A nice try there from Vanity, scrambling through, making it feel like it's a pivot to B. But C9, they read the scenario. And I actually really like that setup. I love Zephyr's positioning. I know that he didn't really get too much out of it, but he's close enough that the paranoia doesn't do anything. And he's also just perfectly pre-aiming in case people swing through the wall, or when the wall drops, he's looking towards root. It's a nice setup between Oxy and Zephyr there. And Oxy, as usual, he's good for it. He's 8-2, top of the scoreboard right now. Popping off, bringing the vibes up. And he's got C9 back into things. Not opting for the rubble fight anymore, Cloud9.
No, but this might pay G2 win. Don't have money. Might be willing to take those risks. Valen is so far ahead. It's dropped almost immediately. Rooney back with a reposition.
I think they're gambling there that it's probably the Cypher setup over towards A.
And a double hold, Oxy!
I mean, is that one even intentional?
Firing range, man.
For a lot of players, I'd say that they got lucky, but for Oxy, it may have just been 2 clean ADS.
We'll find out, man, on the replay, I think.
Yeah. They are still giving it to Leaf. they are still giving it to Leaf every time they take him out. No mercy being shown for the former teammate.
Yeah, it's a great recovery.
Most didn't even play with him. You don't know him like that.
Yeah, he's just joining in on the fun. G2 with a timeout. Important time for it, I think, as well, when Cloud9 have started to
Oh, it
find
was.
their footing. Ah, it's just disgusting.
It was a lovely
Was it ever in doubt?
reset.
Was it ever in doubt with Oxy?
He's so sharp with it.
Yeah.
11-2. Tearing him up on the defense.
So G2 calling that timeout. It's a very important one, actually, coming up.
Yeah. So if you're not going to go for something aggro and try and catch them before the ults are in play, you almost need to bait them out and then play retake and have that utility, at least, advantage. See if there's any success there on the side of Cloud9. Again, seeding Rubble very quickly to G2.
Yeah, Odin in the hands of Jonah P. Make sure that nobody can really contest that.
Cover going out.
Toxin screen down.
Oxy's going to be the sole holder of the rotating door. Really can't really, cross up and help him out, but
I mean, what is Oxy's game plan there? He's so close to the door. I think he's just trying to take the timing through it.
I'm not sure.
I kind of hope he gets challenged because I want to see what kind of nutty idea he's got in his head.
Vanity just about dodging it with a jump spot. Sees that it's at least part of the committal. Still wants to get inside the smoke as well, just in case, not giving up the space just yet.
And I like the way that Valen calls in these spots because he always leaves a player like Jonah here so that they have options later on in the round. They could try to end B. They can always go back over to Jonah P if they need to. And again, I'm really hoping that we end towards A because I want to see how Oxy is thinking he can outplay this.
Oxy is going to be pressured here as soon as that door is opened wide. It's not even like I can get a one-way smoke set up by Vanity. He's on the other side of the map now, so Oxy is essentially alone, and no way, no way.
Oh, he's done
He's just taking the timing against them. Oh, not enough for the reset. Trent, quick 180. Showstopper still alive here. Pre-fired into the corner just in case someone was holding close. Plant down and committed. Extension now. In for round 7. 4 versus 4 on a forward position of G2. Really trying to hold this one close. Icy, he's taken out. Aftershock, press forwards. Miles away is Leaf in terms of the position on a wraparound already, and it's going to leave it down to Valen. He needs to deny and buy some time. Neuro theft. It really does to spoil the party. All for Leaf into this spot. Should have been a timing that he could have taken. Rooney with a defuse. Already up to half, and it's covered with moves all the way.
The ult and the 2K close things out for the Cypher on Cloud9. That's a massive round for C9 to put on the board. This map trends attack-sided anyway, but I think teams have got so much better at playing it on the defense. Look at this. It's so nice. When Jonah P goes down in that spot, yes, Oxy doesn't get the second, which he probably should have done because he made the correct decisions. But Jonah P had the pit that would have been a massive post-plant addition to the way that they played this round. And then Leaf off miles away. 1 and 7, bottom of the scoreboard as well. Struggling to find his impact. Wyatt was talking about it on the desk. He's been amazing for them generally this year. Putting up 0.9 KPR in a lot of his moments on Killjoy, but he's not finding it right now.
No, struggling.
And against his former team.
There's real opportunities as well for Oxy to clean up. Now, there's not going to be any players beating him, but with I see the Outlaw being bought. I see full half armor from G2. Starting to get worried. Cloud9's still going to be stacking this one with the appropriate amount of players running out through the back of the site. It's going to have some util now to try and slow them down here, but a lockdown will have to be respected unless they have some anything to break it.
In theory, maybe it could be like Aftershock Mosh, but they don't have a setup like that. So this is just going to get full value. C9 with the retake.
Giving up, and that's fast by Cloud9. I mean, Rapid already using that paranoia, but with the pit placed down, sitting pretty.
This is going to get messy.
Gives them that cover and fire, and it's going to get very messy. Dizzy clears one way of things, and the spike isn't planted, and the wraparound occurring. That is Oxy off onto the flank. Not being watched by Leaf here, but again, there's so many opportunities for this to go this way, that way, any sort of direction.
30 seconds left.
It's on a coin flip almost. Showstopper now. Let loose into the hands of Oxy. Can he find anything? Players forwards now! And a direct hit will drop him. Still, bullets landing. Oxy left to do it all. And a 1v2 and a half armor might make that difference. Nade rebounds. Still with a plant down. Shorty in hand. Upgrades available. It's rampant across the board, but he knows the damage has been done anyway. The Icy skip and a hop over the top. Just did not spot. Icy round and round we go with a timing. Oxy who finds it.
So much pressure in that situation. They barely got the plant down. And Oxy's favored in that kind of situation because he just has such great info about where everybody is. Icy's stuck just trying to put the spike in the ground. Putting down that pit before the spike goes down. And instantly C9 applying pressure. Beautiful decision as well to take out the shorty towards the end.
Dude.
Talk it.
Yeah, Oxy is such a joy to watch, man.
This is now 5 rounds in a row for Cloud9. It looked like they were getting outplayed at the beginning of this map, and one thrifty round in round 4 completely changed.
Turn the tide a bit. The nade. Valen's been pushed out wide, still only at the stinger, so just able to get the one. They want to pivot into B. Just as the hop-up happened, it could have been unfortunate timing. Still, it's Vanity who claims it. The 2 drop down. You're right, Josh, at this point. Almost inevitable.
Spike down.
Cloud9 have a chokehold on the map.
It's looking fantastic. C9 have dealt with the way that G2 are attacking. They've dealt with the ult cycle. They've managed to apply massive amounts of pressure on these flood defenses. They're going for retakes before the spike is even planted. And G2 are just not ready. G2 are the kind of team that really love to play things to perfection if you give them enough time to set it up. They like to play the slower attack sides. They like everybody placed in optimal positions. And when you push them, when you pressure them, they can't get into those spots. And that's where C9 driving the wedge into those cracks.
That is committed by Vanity. Way out in the open there, just trying to take that fight, but with him dropping Leaf now, again, the options are removed from G2.
They are bullying Leaf. Playing like that, it's aggressive from Leaf. I think he's relying on his skill, which usually is great for him. But today, he just can't find it. and the C9 players are dominant.
Firing. Slight peek by Trent.
Grenade!
Was connected onto the backside player. Trouble is, can you get the plant down still? I believe it's a kill trip set up by Moose. Slide across, but it's going to be spotted out. Rolling Thunder, though. Not going to be allowing them to get that easy plant down. Full connection now, Aftershock. Offloaded with it. Flashes. Crossing the way. This is going to be pre-fight, though. No one can be caught by it, and G2 make the call to just try and stand and deliver. The fight is taken. Showstopper rocket denied. No round win for them. Another ult expended and wasted, but G2, all the resources just running out for them.
Everything is going perfectly for Cloud9 here. And all of it turned on a Thrifty right at the beginning. Desperation time for G2. Looking like they want to force into this one with light armor across the board. They really thought that this one was winnable. And I think it could have been. Icy had a chance there at getting things down into a 1v1. These early fights are going so well for Cloud9. Vanity's going to try to take another.
That is brave.
That is so bold. I don't think Vanity would do that, except that they've won 7 rounds in a row.
So a little bit of sloppiness will get G2 back in. Forwards, you can hear the many footsteps. Leaf is going to be worried about this one, a spot that he has been known to play in before, and now, finally, makes his mark on the server with 2 dropping, or he's finally picked up. Rooney's left alone now, opens up the door wide, but he does have to worry about a multitude of positions. At his back as well, Jonah P just a bit of patience there. Would have worked out either way still. Moose popped up onto the half wall. And now tethered into place. That is a 4th round for G2. Maybe just one more on the board. You can see a possibility in a world that they can bring this back despite the dominance that we've seen of Cloud9.
If they're able to get this back to a 7-5 half and, you know, win both pistols again, then yeah. And at that point, Cloud9, I think, will feel cheated because
One enemy remaining.
they are in control, playing phenomenally map 2 and map 3. If they let it slip based on pistol rounds, they're going to be kicking themselves. C9 would love another here just to make sure that even if G2 get a pistol, they're still with a fairly sizable lead in the next half. Oxy's got an ult here that's fantastic to use. Thrash on Zephyr. So many tools at their disposal. Again, Vanity, though, taking a really aggro position. He's got the operator on a crack, hoping that Leaf will just run into this. Pure mind games. Maybe reading into the fact that he's... Pure mind games. Maybe reading into the fact that he's got a good understanding of how his former teammate plays. And the fact that Leaf is trending more aggressive.
Screen down.
Oh, he's come off the angle to throw a smoke.
In the danger zone for this one. But still lands the shot.
Oh, he's inside his head.
Yeah.
It's just brutal out there for Leaf.
Dropped. No trade inside there from Jonah P. First kill advantage for Cloud9. It's got to be full, I mean, through the roof, surely. Winning a lot of these opening engagements.
It definitely feels like it.
And Oxy, the perfect tool for the job as soon as the door's opened wide. Oh, that's comical! I see. Thought he could outplay it, but it's just waited out still with the trade, but a util in your hand, caught
Spike down.
unaware.
That's such impeccable
30
patience there
seconds
from
left.
Oxy. What goes up must come down.
No charge.
Jonah knows. No contact there off the trip as soon as it's broken. Regrouping together, but this is Cloud9. 4 players left alive versus the 2 of G2.
There is still a chance in this round if Moose or Vanity decide to contest the plant and go
10
down.
seconds left.
But if they play it safe and group up together, huge amounts of utility still left from both initiators.
Yeah.
Everything's online.
Alan with the flash. So the paranoia sends it off early here. Can hear that thrash coming forwards. Jonah P seeks to take a timing right through, and it doubled back. Great game sense there by Zephyr. Entertainment here for Jonah P, and there's no chance, no shot, no world. No world at all.
Another knife kill. Disrespectful. A4 at the half, C9 in control. 3 of those rounds that G2 got were pistol and then a bonus.
Yeah.
That they failed to convert, and suddenly the tide of the game went rapidly in C9's favor. And Oxy's done an amazing job, by the way, defending this door. It's a really unusual way of playing the Raze on this map. Not a common spot for Razes to be playing. Usually that's the Viper or the Killjoy or something like that. And he's just been immaculate with it. Ring around the Rosie in one of the rounds, pops the ult in this one. Looking great.
It's been loved. They were able to just bait and isolate Oxy a lot of the time for those fights, playing together, a lot of high-low setups, and it was their defensive half that they were doing most of that.
Yeah, but I think Oxy's letting the game come to him a little more. That's what Mel was talking about.
Yeah.
He's not overextending, looking for the fights, but he might be forced to do it a bit more now that the sides have swapped, and he's on attack.
Whoa. Nice one.
Great prediction there as well, that Vanity would look to seek refuge inside the smoke.
Maybe what they were looking for here, aftershock. Goes up to that corner. It's already that vulnerability slowed down by the turrets.
Spike
Bullet
down.
tanked up. I mean, there's just a lack of, I don't know, foresight in terms of thinking about how they wanted to really approach this one. It was brute force to try and get through the choke point. And brute force does not work out. G2 flawless with the pistol round win.
And almost flawless in the series. 5-1 when it comes to pistol rounds won in G2's favor. I said earlier, if G2 end up winning this series based on, broadly speaking, that stat, C9 will be kicking themselves. Oh, Vanity didn't even manage to get inside the smoke. I missed that. I thought that was a prediction, but he's lit up like a Christmas tree. We were having a conversation earlier on the desk about, are G2 the best team in Americas? I don't think there is a best team in Americas right now, at least conclusively. But it's making for some very close games. It looks like we've still got a chance.
Balin tucks close. Reposition out of TP. Should be pre-aimed, but again, it's being covered. Leaf is there over the shoulder. Take to the VIP. Finally, pesky turret dealt with.
But in the 3v5 post-plan, shouldn't really be winnable.
No, it shouldn't be.
Maybe if they had upgraded a bunch of guns, but... yeah, that's ambitious.
Yeah, it's just Moose going for it there. Vanity obviously stinger in hand. So anyone looking to make sure that they can do anything, but the crossfires, they're impeccable. So everybody covering the appropriate angles and positions.
You might think that a double initiator composition is going to trend attack-sided because you have huge amounts of utility to get into sights with. But actually, I think that it's going to end up being a little opposite for Cloud9. What we saw is that this composition worked really nicely for their flood defending style. They have huge amounts of utility to flood in and put pressure onto the spike plants, and it worked for their defense. But when they're on attack now, they're going to be having to go through nanoswarms, vulnerables being thrown out from that snakebite from Jonah P. If they just try to do big burst execs, G2 are going to have some great utility to deal with that. So C9 are going to have to play a little more slowly and draw that out, and they don't have the Viper to play slow.
Pretty clear orchestrated takedown with A-Rubble, Cloud9. Somehow, I mean, Zeppa's ended up with a judge heading into this round for G2's bonus.
Does Moose get caught?
Oh, footsteps.
They go
Silent jump up by Moose. Places the trip though and pulls it back. I think that's going to be her potentially. Moose is low enough here. Low enough indeed that it's a spray and pray. Fading away. Trent now with the Prowler.
And that paranoia.
I've got them really just collected up into this tight position. I mean, everything is obvious right now from Cloud9. The position is everywhere.
It's gonna be another
sloppy,
bonus.
man. A bonus round win. They can't be stopped. Jonah P and Icy. They combine their might in the end. A flawless bonus round conversion. I mean, this isn't. It's not even like you did any damage at all to it. They're going to be upgrades abound now for G2. All momentum on their side.
If there was any way of losing this match, I think C9 have just found it. The loss in the pistol and the loss on the bonus, it's so similar to Ascent. Amy's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, brutal one. He's already hit the panic button. They've gone for a tactical timeout.
The exact same as Ascent.
Yeah.
As you lose the pistol, lose the bow. We all know how it works, but they do have an abundance of util just to delay and deny anybody from even taking any space.
Yeah, you can try to when you have ults online. I mean, when you have Showstopper, Rolling Thunder, the Thrash maybe, those ults can try to get you through a choke point. Here, I think you really want that one up on Zeppa. So Oxy's going to leave it to him. Doors being opened on both sides of the map. C9 up for the attackers, clearing out Mound, clearing out B. On the other side, G2 making sure that they've got good information on Rubble and nobody's been left inserted.
I think that G2 have a very, very good idea where these players could be. And look at these stray shots from Trent. I mean, popping them off. Dizzy will finally push him back, but it's all Util that has to be committed just to clear out this space. It's a fault line and a nade. He's already vacuumed up that orb, so that's not going to be given to them. Easy access. They're just being chipped down this entire time. Penalty on A health. Oxy 52. Door opened up with 38 seconds left. What is the call and what is the decision?
I don't really see a game plan here. Cloud9 might be forced to just run into A. They can combo a flash Dizzy and hope that that catches Trent. Pivot through B.
Yeah, looks like it's being called now with the door broken up and wide. There's going to be the nano swarms. And again, look at that to Molly. That just delays them. Vulnerability, they can't really commit past it. Oxy will just glide over now, using that satchel to try and get themselves in, but the nano swarms are just being deaded. And the plan, it's going to be close, tucked to the corner. Mosh pit here in. Valen has to try and evade it. A lot of damage done to him just from that alone. Maybe there's a chance here. Get themselves in, but again, the weapons are not looking good, and everybody's pushed up just into that lower section, playing under hell. Nade rebound, that is going to be huge. Pushing them forwards and about. They can't stand their ground to take these fights. And the aim's all over the place right now. Moose left alone in that 1v4. It's a cheeky one, really, just for the end, but overall, G2.
I mean, I'd love to see a situation like that when there's rifles on board, because I think that C9 would have a good chance of being able to win. G2, they only really had the nade to go for that retake. They'd already used Paranoia, they didn't have Horns or really Prowlers to work with. They didn't have a huge amount of tools, but they did send it off the back of the nade and all swing together, so the coordination was there. And because C9 have not been winning rounds and getting kills and getting plants, they're slow to get these ultimates online as well.
Barely building them up.
Yeah, the Thrash, the first. That one's normally rapid. You almost have that instantly if you win the pistol. And you saw how difficult that snakebite was to navigate. I think they're going to be running into a similar stuff here. It's a really classic defense setup for Jonah P and Leaf.
Icy can play hyper committed over towards the B main. Choke still has that showstopper there. As soon as he hears any sound, and Util being used against him, he can just let rip the ult.
He might just ult off turret contact.
Yeah.
It would be bold without a second player there.
Flash, here we go. Yeah. Sees it and does not nail it. I mean, listen, damage done certainly, but robbed of the kills and the chance and the opportunity. Smoke just to get him out of there. Few bullets, barely alive. Wants to go for another swing of things. That was a season and nade trying to be comboed up just in case, but it misses wide.
What a timing on that from Jonah. Great read that they were about to commit. 40 seconds though, and now there's no snakebite over on C, but there are 3 players stacked up. Ready, waiting, and double nanoswarm setup still.
The read by Valen. Perfect.
30 seconds
Trying
left.
to try and get themselves in. No one is pre-aiming a haunt. Nano swarms in front of you. Chopped to pieces if you try and enter.
That's from B. That's filthy.
And what is that lineup?
That's lovely stuff from Trent. I mean, you are not ready to break that.
No.
10 seconds
When you're
left.
focused on getting in through the choke. The timing on this utility, the snakebite from Jonah and the horn from Trent, is immaculate.
Yeah.
And it feels so similar to some of G2's games at Shanghai, where they don't look like they're really in control of Lotus, but they're making it work and they're getting the wins.
That's the thing. It's almost deceiving, you know, because you look at the scoreboard and it's an even spread. There's no heavy dominance from one player like, you know, you see Oxy and Cloud9 top of the scoreboard now, but I don't know, they make it look easy. It's just a team play.
Yeah, I will say though, Leaf is finding his moments a lot more on the defense side now. Take a look at this. There's the haunt, goes over the top. Quite similar to the one that you throw at the start of the round over on A.
That seems hard to nail, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, the pros are good at hitting those lineups.
Yeah, just with the timings here. Flash in the face of Icy, though. Haunt not broken again. They know that there's that hard committal from Oxy out towards Rubble. He's satcheled above and around the nade, so he's actually on top of it, but no casualties. Barely many rifles to work with here for Cloud9. They still want to try and brute force and power their way through.
They have forced in this round. And all of that pressure has allowed Leaf to push up on the other side of the map. He does sometimes get punished for going for this, but in this particular round, he's getting excellent information for his team, as is Jonah B.
Monster on the loose.
He's gonna be calling for it, and that's why G2 can afford to stack this one. The Thrash gives up a lot of space here for Cloud9 to get themselves in. G2, are you ready for this one?
The spike could go down.
Leaf is so fast. What is that? Enough reset for it. And look at the spray down the transfer itself. Wonderful control. Prowler sent flying bullets alongside it. G2, a 2-round lead, and it doesn't feel like it's stopping. Not anytime soon. Look at the amount of rounds they've got in a row.
And look at the scoreboard and where Leaf is at. He was trailing at the bottom, started out 1-7, and now he's recovered in this half. I think he only had something like 3 kills in the entirety of the first half here on Lotus. And now, on defense, finding moments to be aggressive, finding flank timings, winning rounds for them. 12-12. He has skyrocketed up the scoreboard, finding his moments to create impact for the team.
To lead his team, it's Valen who's always just got the heads up. It feels like one step ahead.
Yeah, Leaf, he's had 8 kills across these 6 rounds of defense.
Time to show up then. Icy once more. They with a paranoia. Vanity does reveal his position with that one. Was sent flying. Icy will have to give up that space and respect it. A little bit too much to overcome and fight. Trent as well. The door's open wide. Prowler dropped at his feet. Still dropped down to the back of the side. He is wide out in position. You still want to try and take this one. A seize to delay. No connections. Cloud9 not willing to really slow this down with now an ult and Oxy. Rocket there. Kill still found. Up and around. Moose. Getting cheeky with it. Just trying to go for the jump spot. Why not? Go for it. Cloud9. Will they finally get themselves onto the board in a 2v4 here? 2v3. G2. Lockdown. It's now going to be committed. Still willing the resource into this fight. And what have they got to try and destroy this one? It's going to be the full blind. The mosh pit doesn't quite break it. Not enough damage. Zeppa. Full run around and a detainment from 2. One player left to stand out through the back, and he can just stick this one all the way. Half on it. Why not wait it out? And that was the best chance that Cloud9 had in a long while.
And G2 still found their way to come around behind and Leaf again with the ultimate getting outrageous value. C9 did not know whether they wanted to fight that, whether they wanted to punish the lockdown. It looked like Oxy was trying to find a timing, he just couldn't quite. And just to correct myself, as what I was talking about with Oxy before, he ended the first half on 17 kills. He currently has 18. That was the only kill he's got on the attack side.
9.
I mean, talk about G2 stopping a superstar player from getting value on one half of the map.
Yeah, they've done it again.
That is exactly what defined the last time that these two teams matched up. And the only attack side where Oxy's been able to do anything, he was playing Reyna.
What's the difference maker? Season 8, just out of the radius. We're getting that kill. G2's game plan, happy to give up the front section of A with this rebel control. Someone's got to change over Cloud9.
I think one of the problems too is with the double initiator compositions, C9 are playing as a blob a lot. This time they insert Vanity over towards Rubble. G2 have gone for reclear strats over towards Rubble, but only I think once. It looks like they might be going for it again. If the Prowler finds anything, it did not. Vanity is safe.
Look at the layers to it.
Oh, Vanity just got caught by the haunt though, I think, over towards A, and now he's being hunted.
Down, might have to commit some util at least. No, thinks twice about it. In through B though, Moose. Got that ground still, look at that double face. It's rapid.
They're hunting the
answer back is there, yeah. Making sure that they can't cause any sort of unfortunate issues. Later down into the line here, over towards the A site. So Cloud9 wants to go. There's an open site, but G2 are rapidly once more there, waiting. Flood attempt might be on the cards. They've already dropped down, doubled up into pit. There is an aftershock. We'll push them forwards. Oxy up and above the ropes. He wasn't set up for an easy fight there. Zeppa has to stick to plan. He was out of the fight while that was occurring, and still, how did Cloud9 hold on? They've lost control of the site. The positioning is no longer theirs. Fault line, seeking to redeem themselves. Horns over the top, and Rooney leaves with the damage, and that flank attempt wrapping around Vanity. It's his job to contain. Finds it. One to the dome, enough to shut down Jonah P, and now 2 left to stand here for G2. Maybe it's doable once more. Vanity already with a spot revealed. Rooney toppled. Vanity, it's his own making. The smoke toppled into his face just so he can get that free line of sight with the spam down, but Leaf dominates the angle. And a 12th round is what G2 are up to.
What a comeback from G2 this has been. But for C9, they can't win even when they have advantages, even when they're set up. That's a 3v2 with triangle crossfires all over the place. It feels like a classic C9 choke.
Yeah.
It really does. Because they're getting themselves into spots they just can't convert, and they're losing so many important, crucial fights. I mean, Trent just barreled through them. And that is so much frustration on Emmy's face. Look at that streak of teal in the timeline.
There's no stopping him. G2 with that hyper discipline, and now the crossfire setup is that stun connect spam. Valen tried to maintain his composure, tried to play it cool, but eventually the bullets did the job.
That's a huge advantage. Like, paranoia gone, smoke's gone, none of that available for any potential retake. You have breach ult to get into a site. Keep it cool.
Doubled up by G2. They want to try to contact peek into this one. Oxy's found. Dizzy. Molly at the feet. They want to commit. Vulnerability applied. And Vanity barely survives.
They kept Rooney alive, and they've got good information from Moose's ult. They know that they're spread around here. Trent should be hit by the breach ult. I mean, they might not want to commit to this as well. They've still got 50 seconds.
So with a nightfall. Only the one connection as well. Ah, the flash is too deep. Too damn deep. Still Rooney's there with a connection and a trade. Leaf in a 1v2. Damage to the Vanity. Still with the ult. Into this post! And that's how it ends. Finish like that. Impeccable with the timing. G2 taking the series away like that.